Welcome back. The Reserve Bank of India has finally decided to cut rates, and it's been a big, deep cut of 0.5%, a surprise cut coming there from the Reserve Bank of India. But the big question is, will your home loans get cheaper? That's what we're asking today on this special show. We've got Mr. Harshvardhan Roongta, CEO of ApnaPaisa.com, joining us to answer all those questions on home loans, and we will be getting in lots of callers. So remember, if you have a query, you've got that number flashing on your screen. You can just call us with your query on home loans. Mr. Roongta, we've been getting in a lot of queries from our viewers, but if I could just start by asking you, a lot of mixed response coming in from banks with regard to whether or not they're going to pass on that rate cut to consumers or not. While you have ICICI and SBI yesterday saying that yes, we will look at it, today SBI has issued a statement which in a way suggests that they're still considering it and it will depend on a number of factors. What's the message for consumers? Will home loans get cheaper?
So, as far as home loans getting cheaper because the repo rate has been cut, I think that one needs to keep the champagne bottle corked as of now, very clearly, because I think till the deposit rates come down, I really can't see the overall rates coming down big time. So I think what we are going to probably see is that banks are over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, the banks are going to try and reduce deposit rates.
So when you say deposit, right, when you say deposit rates, essentially what you're trying to say here is that supposing we have a fixed deposit with a bank and you're earning say 9% right now, that fixed deposit rate, interest rate is also going to be reduced by banks. So in a way, those who believe in keeping money in fixed deposits, perhaps rates are at the peak right now, and those rates are going to go down, and they will go down sooner than we're going to see the home loan rates really go down.
Oh, absolutely. So if you are in the market, if you are an investor who puts money in fixed deposits, I think right now is the good time before the banks start reducing the fixed deposit rates. You can you should lock in your money at least for 2 or 3 years. You're probably getting the best fixed deposit rates today for 2 or 3 years, and I think you should lock it in today. If you're a firm believer in fixed deposits, so overall, I am not commenting about fixed deposits versus other investment options. If you have already decided to put money in fixed deposits, now is the time to do it. Absolutely. All
right, Mr. Roongta, we've got our first caller on air, Ratindra Basu, joining us on the phone line. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, both of you. My question is vis-a-vis home loans. I have a home loan for which I pay EMIs. Now, this rate drop, how does it affect me? I mean, what's the exact implication of this for me?
All right, Mr. Roongta, will the EMIs really go down? That's perhaps the question that's being asked. What's the implication of that rate cut or for someone who has a home loan and is paying an EMI?
So, Ratinder, if you're still there, when did you take this loan? Is it on floating rate? What is the current interest rate that you are paying?
I've taken this loan about 1.5 years back. It is on a floating rate. The exact current interest rate, I'm not really aware right now.
All right. Would you have an approximate idea about 8 to 9 or 10%? What is the kind of rate that you're paying, and would you like it to go down?
Yeah, it would be about 9%, I would imagine.
Close to 9% is the interest rate that you're paying. And what's the tenure? Would it be a 15-year loan or a 20-year loan?
It's a 20-year loan.
All right. Mr. Roongta.
Just one more question, Mr. Basu. Did you take a dual rate loan where rates remain fixed for a couple of years and then went floating, or was it a completely floating rate loan? Which bank did you take it from?
I took it from ICICI.
And was it a dual rate loan?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so then obviously I think, see, this is the, so Mr. Basu, I'm sorry to state, I mean, you've taken a loan, you're not even aware of the interest rate that you are paying. If you've taken it 1.5 years ago, your interest rate won't be, and if it is floating, you had not chosen the dual rate option, then your floating rate today will not be less than 11 to 11 and a half. And if that is the rate, you're paying way too much, irrespective of whether rates are coming down or not. One good thing, so apart from the cut in base rates, cut in repo rates, which may or may not lead to a cut in base rates, one thing that the Reserve Bank has done in the credit policy is that it has removed the prepayment charges. In any case, ICICI voluntarily had removed the prepayment charges even earlier. So the first thing that you should do is first go talk to your bank. You will find that they are willing to reduce the rate for you to about 10.5 or 10.75, which is the rate that they are offering to new customers. If they are not willing to do so and you have a good track record, shift to another lender. They would be happy to do it for you. So that is the formula, irrespective of whether the repo cut, rate cut results in a decrease in base rate or not, for you to save on your monthly EMI. So please exercise at least that option. As far as the base rate is concerned, as I said, I think it will take time before we see base rates soften, and therefore the impact of the repo rate cut probably will be felt in some time. But as far as you are concerned, you could definitely benefit immediately.
So, Mr. Rungta, if I could get this right, what you're saying is that no home loan borrower should at this point be paying anything more than 10.5% or so in terms of interest rates for home loans. And if you're paying 11% or more, immediately either talk to your bank and ensure they reduce the rates, or if they're not doing that, it's worth just prepaying the loan and switching to another bank. Now, how does prepayment really work? Will the other bank first give you the money to prepay the loan? Because obviously none of us have that kind of money lying in our banks, which is why we've taken that loan.
Yes, you absolutely got that right, Shweta. If you are on a floating rate loan and paying 11% or more shift, you won't be charged a prepayment charge. Processing charge, etc. are very low. So it will always make sense. Don't do any fancy calculations. If you are paying more than 11, it will make sense for you to shift. As far as the procedure is concerned, there is an inbuilt procedure. This is happening all the time. Even when you buy a new flat and the existing owner, the seller, has a loan, this process is going on. The existing lender gives a letter saying, if you pay me so much on such a such date, which is in the future, this loan will be treated as paid off. Based on that, you pay your down payment, balance part your new lender will pay to take care. That is in a buying situation. In a transfer situation, based on this letter, your new lender will pay that amount directly to your existing lender, take a power of attorney from you to go and pick up the title deeds from your existing lender. So this is a process that's already well laid out. You don't really have to put money up front. This is a process that is working reasonably smoothly.
All right, how does it work, Mr. Rungta? Somebody like me, I have taken a home loan 2 years ago, which was clearly a teaser loan, which are obviously very attractive initially, but they tend to hit you once the teaser duration gets over. That duration has already got over. We've already got the bank calling and saying that the interest rate will increase subsequently. Now, they obviously always like to increase the duration of the home loan. Now, for consumers, would you suggest that is a better option rather than really increasing the EMI, or do you think that just prolongs the overall duration of the home loan?
So, well, that really depends on your budget. First, as I am saying, don't pay more than what the market is paying. So, if somebody is charging you more shift, even if it was a dual rate loan, which means there might be some prepayment charges to shift, even then in most cases it will make sense to shift. But that besides, what to do when your interest rate increases? Well, if your budget can afford an increased EMI, by all means ask them to increase the EMI. If your budget can't afford the increased EMI, then the bank will increase the tenure. So it's really completely dependent on your budget. And sometimes, of course, if the tenure is so large that it will go beyond you being 60 years or 65 years, you will either have to agree to an increase in EMI or make some part payment. The bank may not agree to increase the tenure beyond 60 or 65 years.
Right. It certainly would not be 60 after 20 years, Mr. Rungta. But also, if I could ask you about teaser rates, are teaser rates really good or bad? A lot of consumers want to know, is it something that the bank is just tying you with? It obviously seems very attractive initially, but should consumers really look at teaser rates or not? Where the bank is offering a much lower rate for the first 1 or 2 years, and then you're back on the floating rate.
Well, today teaser rates are not available. I mean, today you do have dual rate loans, but the interest rate is not lower than what you would pay on a regular floating rate loan. So they can hardly be called teaser rates. The point is, as long as you review your decision every 6 months or so, as of today, sitting in April 2012, it does not make sense for you to take any other loan other than a floating rate loan.
Right.
Pure fixed rate loans that are going to remain fixed for 20 years, way too expensive.
Right.
Teaser rates don't make sense. Why would you want to lock in at today's high rates?
All right, we've also got Parul Chopra on the phone line with her question. Parul, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi. I have a question that how are the existing buyers going to benefit from this new policy decision? And for retrospective effect from which date?
When you're saying buyers, are you looking at going in for a home loan, or are you looking at just buying a house with a home loan? If you could share some more details.
The ones who are actually already purchased, are they going to get benefited in the first place, one? And if yes, how and by when?
Mr. Rungta.
So you already have a loan, Parul. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Would you like to share some details of the loan? What is the interest rate you're paying, the duration, the entire tenure of the loan, the bank?
You want me to share the details?
Yeah. Could you do that?
Yeah. Well, the rate is about 11%, and the duration, it has just started about a year back. It's a 20-year loan with one of the private banks.
All right. Mr. Rungta.
Okay. So, I think I am assuming that your profile has remained as good as it was a year ago.
Correct.
And that the property, absolutely, and the property is good, right? If that is so, there is no earthly reason for you to pay 11%. I mean, you've not given the amount of the loan, but the max loan that you should be the max rate that you should be paying is 10.5 to maximum 10.75. So my first advice to you, Parul, is don't wait for the bank to change. Please be a little proactive. Go talk to your bank that unless you shift my loan rate to 10.75 or better still 10.5, I am going to shift my loan. And as we just explained in the answer to the first caller, this comes at very, very little cost. So your proactiveness can actually help you save lakhs. Second alternative is you wait. I mean, when the base rates will change, if they change, that is very difficult to answer. And I suspect we will know that only 2, 3, 4 months from now.
Parul, does that answer your question? Would you like to ask any follow-up question to Mr. Rungta?
And any advice to new players which you would like to give? Like, this is one property I have bought to stay in. Now, if I would like to go for a smaller investment from the purpose of generating a rental income in future, where I'm not really looking at something materializing immediately. So is there any advice? Should we hold on for some time for such a decision, or how to go about it?
Mr. Rungta, are rates really going to come down here on? I think that's the question, because nobody wants to really pick a home loan at the peak rates.
So actually it does not matter. As I said today, except for floating rate, it does not matter. So even if you're going to take a floating rate when interest rates are today, if the rates go down in the future, you should get the benefit. And if you're reasonably vigilant, you will get the benefit. So I don't see why the interest rate should be a decisive factor, except in terms of loan eligibility. Because when the interest rates are high, your eligibility falls. Except to that limited extent, just because rates are high should not change your decision. I would, however, Parul, advise you to consult a certified financial planner, because when you buy property for investment, that's a completely different decision than when you buy a property for the purpose of your own residence, and you need to look at your overall asset classification or asset allocation to make sure that you are not overexposed to one particular asset class, especially a lumpy asset class like real estate.
All right, we've got the next caller online, Arijit Sen Gupta, who's joining us on the phone line. Arijit, what's your question?
The question is, I've been planning to buy a flat in Calcutta. Now, the problem area is that one is the margin money. The second is the fact that the loan covers the, the so-called market value of the flat. But the developers, most of them that I've met so far, have been asking for a certain the percentage, which is fairly high, in cash, so as not to show it in their books, and it really impacts on the total cost of the property. Now, how do I explain this to a bank? If I'm to go to the bank and take a loan for, say, a flat ostensibly worth, say, 30 lakhs,
right?
But I'm being asked to cough up 15 lakhs
in cash.
Correct.
Right, Mr. Rungta, it's a problem that we face often in this country, where you've got the sector real estate. Really, the kind of cash transactions that take place in this sector are unbelievable.
So, Mr. Sengupta, the thing is, you probably have to do a little more homework. You will definitely find developers who are willing to take the entire payment on the record, so that you don't really have to pay cash. I'm assuming you have no cash to pay. Second, look at resale properties. I mean, there is no law which says that you have to buy only from under construction properties from developers. If you look at resale properties, several resale properties should be available to you in areas that you like at your budget. And typically nowadays, because of the capital gains exemption, when people sell one house and buy another, the resellers are willing to accept the entire amount in check, and that should be quite helpful to you. So, there is no solution to the cash payment. If you're making the cash payment, you will have to pay that from your pocket. You'll have to arrange it from somewhere else. The solutions that I am giving you is to avoid having to make those cash payments, which anyway are unsafe even for you, because if you're buying an under construction property, you paid the cash, your exposure to the builder is far larger than what is shown on paper.
All right, thanks Mr. Rungta for that. We're going to slip into a quick break. We've got plenty of callers still calling in with their queries, but after the break we'll try to answer some more questions on home loans. Don't go away. Welcome back to our special show on home loans. After the big RBI rate cut, will your home loans get cheaper? We've got Mr. Harshvardhan Rungta, CEO of ApnaPaisa.com, joining us to answer all those questions. Plenty of callers. Let's go straight across to our next caller, Supreet Roy. Supreet, what's your question?
Well, sir, I just wanted to ask, now that this RBI has cut down the repo rate, will that help us? Will actually the home loans get cut down, the EMIs cut down? Because generally what happens is when there's an increase in the increase in the loan rate, you get a letter from the bank immediately stating that your EMIs have gone up. But in this case, how soon do we hear from the bank, and when do we get to know actually whether the EMI is going to come down or not, or whether the bank will be actually reducing our EMIs for, whatever the RBI has done?
Mr. Rungta, why is it that we get this query just about every time? The kind of complaint we get, what Supreet is really saying, the banks are way too quick to pass on the rate increases, but they are very, very reluctant to pass on the rate cuts. How much lag should there really be between the RBI rate cut and a possible cut in the interest rate, and should consumers themselves intervene?
So, the technical part of that answer to that question, Shweta, is that, sure, RBI gives a signal by reducing or increasing repo rates, and then banks look at their own cost of funds, etc., and determine what will be their new lending rates. But I think the consumers can be completely be pardoned for thinking that repo rates, any changes in repo rate should automatically mean changes in home loan rates, because as Supreet rightly pointed out, as the earlier callers rightly pointed out, when it comes to increases in repo rate, most of the time the banks have come back very, very quickly and have said that your rates are now going up. At that time, we obviously didn't hear these arguments that it takes time before the cost of funds increases. So I think customers have an extremely valid grouse against the entire industry. And this pervades the industry, whether it be public sector banks, whether it be private sector banks, whether it be housing finance companies. I think every single lender.
Right, we're just clearly running out of time, but the clear message coming from Mr. Rungta through the show has been that at least the current prevailing rates should be anywhere around 10.5 to 10.75%. If you're paying anything more than that, ask your bank to reduce the rate or perhaps switch to another bank. We're out of time on this show, but thank you all for joining us. Mr. Rungta, many thanks for answering all those questions. We'll be back after a quick break with all the top stories.